Welcome to Pen and Perspective, where the story always knows more than it's telling. Every word is intentional. Every silence holds a truth. Let's get into it. I caught my brother in bed with my fiancée on a Thursday, and not like in a dramatic movie scene with rain outside and music playing kind of way either. Shit happened in the middle of the afternoon. I had came home early from a work trip because the meeting wrapped faster than expected. I remember actually being in a good mood that day. I had picked up food on the way home because I wanted to surprise her. That's the part that still irritates me sometimes. I was thinking about surprising her while she was upstairs betraying me. I unlocked the door and immediately knew something was off. Not because I heard yelling, because it was too quiet. Then I heard laughing upstairs. A woman laughing the way she laughed when she's comfortable, and a man laughing right after her. My brother. I knew his laugh before I even got to the top step. And honestly, I think my body knew before my brain did, because I stopped halfway up the stairs and just stood there for a second, trying to make the sounds turn into something else. But they didn't. I walked into my bedroom and there they were. My fiancé wrapped in my sheets and my brother standing there looking shocked for all of 3 seconds before he started trying to explain. And what's crazy is, I don't even remember what he said. I remember her crying. I remember him saying my name. I remember him saying, "It's not what you think," which is insane considering there's really not a lot of room for interpretation when your brother is standing barefoot in your bedroom with his shirt half on. I didn't yell. That's what threw them off, and I think both of them expected me to crash out, throw punches, break something, scream. I didn't. I just looked at both of them and realized something in real time. Neither one of them respected me enough to stop before it got there. That means it wasn't a mistake. Mistakes stop somewhere before your clothes come off. I set the food down on the dresser, walked into the closet and put a few things in a bag, grabbed a few things out of my drawer before heading to my office downstairs. There I grabbed the things that were important to me and put them in another duffel. Whole time she crying and he trying to get my attention. "Please let us explain," they said. "Explain what exactly?" I asked. "How he fell inside of you? How you caught him?" "No thank you. Fuck you both." And left. I knew I'd never step foot in that apartment again. I drove straight to my parents' house. And the whole way there, I kept thinking the same thing. At least my parents gonna understand how crazy this is. I walked in the house without knocking because I still had a key back then. My mom was in the kitchen, dad watching TV, and immediately they knew something was wrong. My mom said, "What happened?" And I said, "Ask your other son." My dad muted the TV. My mom kept asking what happened, and I said it plain. I came home and found Marcus in my bed with Tiana. Silence. Real silence. My dad leaned back on the couch. My mom sat down slowly like the words hit her physically. And for maybe 30 seconds, I really thought they got it. Then my mom said the sentence that changed everything. She said, "Okay, but we need to handle this carefully." Carefully. That word still bothers me because I had just watched my entire relationship and family implode, and the first thing she worried about was image. Not me or what they did, not the betrayal. My dad finally spoke, said, "Your brother made a mistake." And I remember looking at him like I didn't know who he was anymore. A mistake, like he borrowed my car without asking. My mom kept talking, said things like, "Don't let this tear the family apart. People do stupid things. We can work through this." And then she said the part that really did it. "We don't need everybody in our business." There it was. That's what mattered. How it looked. And I remember laughing a little because it genuinely caught me off guard. I said, "So that's what y'all worried about right now?" My dad sighed like I was being difficult. Said, "Don't do that." And that's when something in me just shut off. Because I realized I was sitting in a room full of people trying to preserve the comfort of the people who betrayed me. I stood up. My mom said, "Where you going?" I looked right at her and said, "Away from all y'all." Then I left. And I meant it. I changed my number the same day. Next day at work, I asked my boss about opportunities in other cities. To my surprise, there was something a couple states away and I applied. Within a week, the position was mine, and I'd be starting in 10 days. I took that time to handle the business no one wants to deal with. Canceling the wedding. That was tough. I kept it simple though. Wedding is canceled. Sorry for the inconvenience. It was still early enough that I didn't lose much. Now for the lease, utilities, internet, whole time, my email is blowing up because they don't know another way to reach me. I peek at the opening line, then discard them. They still didn't get it. What bothered them most was that there were no blow-ups, no social media posts or long speeches. I just stopped existing to them. At first, they thought I was cooling off. That's what my cousin told me years later. Everybody kept saying, give him time. He'll come around. He just hurt. Like this was temporary. 6 months after I left, my mom found a way to contact me through my old friend Darius. Apparently, my dad had a health scare. They thought it might have been his heart. Turned out not to be serious, but at the time, they didn't know that yet. And suddenly, it was an emergency. Suddenly, family mattered again. I almost didn't answer the call, but I did. And hearing my mom cry after 6 months of silence was strange. Like hearing a song you forgot you used to know. She kept saying, please come home, we're sorry. Your father needs you. None of this is worth losing family. And that right there told me everything, because even then she still didn't get it. It still wasn't about what they did, it was about me reacting to it. I asked one question. I said, Mark is still with her? Silence. Then she said yes. I laughed again, not because it was funny, because it confirmed exactly who everybody chose. I said, so y'all still eating dinner with them? My mom started crying harder, talking about forgiveness, talking about healing, talking about how life too short, and I said something that made her go quiet. I said, Dad almost dying didn't suddenly make y'all good people. Silence. Then I said, I'm not coming back. And for the first time in that whole conversation, she understood I meant it. Not angry, not emotional. Done. So after that call, they stopped trying as hard. Oh, they still send messages through people every now and then. Holiday texts, random check-ins, but the desperation disappeared because they realized I wasn't bluffing. 5 years passed before I saw any of them again. And the only reason I came back was my Uncle Reggie, my dad's older brother, the one who taught me how to drive, how to change a tire, how to stand up for myself without always needing to be loud about it. He used to tell me all the time, Ramona, don't let people play in your face and call it love. Funny enough, that ended up being the whole story. He died suddenly. Stroke. And despite everything, I loved him enough to come home for the funeral. Walking into that church felt weird, like stepping back into a life that didn't belong to me anymore. Everybody staring and whispering, because apparently I looked different now. Meanwhile, Marcus looked exhausted, older than he should have. Tiana, too, that marriage clearly had some miles on it. And my parents? Man, time had sat on both of them hard. My mom hugged me after the funeral like she was scared I'd disappear again. I hugged her back because I'm not cruel, but there wasn't emotion attached to it anymore. Just acknowledgement. Marcus tried speaking to me outside the church. I told him, not here. And apparently that gave everybody hope. Big mistake. No. Later that night, I went back to my parents' house after the repast, mostly because I wanted one last quiet moment in Uncle Reggie's old chair in the backyard. That was it. But when I walked in, everybody was there waiting. Mom, Dad, Marcus, Tiana, like some kind of intervention, and immediately I knew what this was. My mom started crying before anybody even sat down, talking about how much time had passed, how tired everybody was of the distance, how families should come back together. Marcus looked embarrassed. Tiana couldn't even really look at me. Then eventually Marcus said it. We need help. There it was, finally. The truth. Apparently finances were bad. Business failed, debt piling up. Dad retired earlier than expected. Things were rough, and somehow, after 5 years, they landed back at me. I sat there listening to all of it without saying much. Then Marcus said, I know what I did was wrong. I looked at him, really looked at him, and said, you married her. Silence. I said, you didn't make a mistake. You built a life on what you did. Nobody said nothing. Then I looked at my parents, and y'all helped make it normal. You watched me get betrayed and decided it was worth it anyway. My mom started crying again, talking about forgiveness, talking about how people grow. And I finally said the thing I've been thinking for 5 years. You keep talking about family like that word means something by itself. I looked around the room. 5 years ago, I came in this house after the worst moment of my life, and y'all told me to protect the people who hurt me because you didn't want the family looking bad. That was the moment I understood I wasn't actually family here. I was just expected to act like it. Marcus tried saying my name, and I cut him off. No. Then I pointed at Tiana. You cheated on me with my brother and then married him. Then I looked back at Marcus. And you married a woman who betrayed somebody she supposedly loved. Now you confuse life been hard? That landed hard. I looked at my parents, and nothing good was ever going to grow out of what y'all allowed. My dad finally spoke after being quiet almost the whole night, said, We thought time would fix this. I nodded slowly. I know. Then I said the coldest thing I've probably ever said in my life. It did. I stood up and grabbed my coat. My mom asked, So this is it? And I said, No. This was it 5 years ago. Then I looked around one last time. I built a life without y'all in it. I want to keep it that way. Nobody stopped me when I walked out. And honestly, that hurt them more than anything else I could have said. You've been listening to Pen and Perspective, where some people regret the fallout, some regret the decision, and some don't regret anything at all. I'm Miana DK, and before I put my pen down, tell me whose perspective you'd like to hear next.